I stepped cautiously from the media room, expecting to find Derek lurking around the corner, waiting to pounce. The rumble of his voice made me jump, but it came from the dining room, where he was asking Mrs. Talbot when Dr. Gill would be ready to see him. I hurried into class. They weren't done with math yet, and Mrs. Wang waved for me to take the seat next to the door. When the lesson finally ended, Derek lumbered in. I struggled to ignore him. Ray waved me to the desk beside hers. I bolted for it. Derek never even looked my way, just took his regular seat beside Simon, their heads and voices lowering as they talked. Simon laughed. I strained to hear what Derek was saying. Was he telling Simon about his joke, or was I getting paranoid? After English school was done for the day, Derek disappeared with Simon, and I followed Ray to the dining room, where we did our homework. I could barely finish a page on sentence diagramming. It was like deciphering a foreign language. I was seeing ghosts, real ghosts. Maybe it would be different for someone who already believed in ghosts. I didn't. My religious training was limited to sporadic church and Bible school visits with friends, and one brief stint at a private Christian school when my dad hadn't been able to get me into a public one. But I believed in God and in an afterlife the same way I believed in solar systems I'd never seen. That matter of fact acceptance that they existed, even if I'd never thought much about the specifics. If ghosts existed, did that mean there was no heaven? Were we all doomed to walk the earth forever as shades, hoping to find someone who could see or hear us and what? What did the ghost want from me? I thought of the voice in the basement. I knew what that one wanted. A door opened. So the spirit had been wandering for years. Finally finds someone who can hear him, and his earth-shattering request is, "Hey, could you open that door for me?" What about Liz? I must have dreamed that. Anything else? I couldn't wrap my head around. But one thing was certain. I needed to know more, and if the pills were stopping me from seeing and hearing the ghosts clearly, then I had to stop taking them. It's not going to happen to you. I turned from the living room window as Ray walked in. What happened to Liz? Getting transferred. That won't happen with you. She sat on the couch. That's what you're worrying about, right? Why you haven't said 10 words all day? Sorry, I'm just freaked out. I nodded. That was true, even if it wasn't about what she thought. I sat in one of the rocking chairs. Like I said last night, Chloe, there's a trick to getting out of here. She lowered her voice. Whatever you think about their labels, just nod and smile. Say yes, Dr. Gill. Whatever you say, Dr. Gill. I just want to get better, Dr. Gill. Do that, and you'll be following Peter out that front door any day now. We both will. Then I'll send you a bill for my advice. I struggled to smile. From what I'd seen so far, Ray was a model patient, so why was she still here? How long is the average stay? I asked. She reclined on the sofa. A couple of months, I think. Months? Peter was here about that long. Tori a bit more. Derek and Simon about 3 months. 3 months? I think so, but I could be wrong. Before you, Liz and I were the newbies. 3 weeks for each of us, me a few days more than her. I was told only to be in here for 2 weeks. She shrugged. I guess it's different for you then, lucky girl. Or did they mean 2 weeks was the minimum? She stretched her foot to nudge my knee. Don't look so glum. The company's good, isn't it? I managed to smile. Some of it. No kidding, huh? With Peter and Liz gone, we're stuck with Frankenstein and the Divas. Speaking of which, Queen Victoria is up and about, relatively speaking. Hmm? She lowered her voice another notch. She's stuffed full of meds and totally out of it. I must have looked alarmed because she hurried on. Oh, that's not normal. They don't do that to anyone but Tori, and she wants it. She's the pill princess. If she doesn't get hers on time, she asks for them. Once on the weekend they ran out and had to page Dr. Gill for a refill, and whoa boy. She shook her head. Tori ran to our room, locked the door, and wouldn't come out until someone brought her medications. Then she tattled to her mom, and there was this huge uproar. Her mom's connected to the people who run Lyle House. Anyway, she's totally doped up today, so she shouldn't give us any trouble. When Mrs. Talbot rounded us up for dinner, I realized I hadn't told Ray about taking her advice and looking up the dead janitor. Tori joined us for dinner, in body at least. She spent the meal practicing for a role in the next zombie movie, expressionless, methodically moving fork to mouth, sometimes even with food on it. I was torn between feeling sorry for her and just being creeped out. I wasn't the only one left uncertain. Ray tensed with every mouthful as if waiting for old Tori to leap out and jab her about her eating. Simon gamely tried to carry on a conversation with me and tentatively slanted questions Tori's way, as if afraid she was just playing possum, looking for sympathy. After that endless meal, we all fled gratefully to our chores. Ray and I on dinner cleanup, and the guys on garbage and recycling detail. Later, Ray had a project to work on, and Mrs. Wang had warned the nurses that she wanted Ray to do it without help. So, after telling Mrs. Van Dupe that I'd be right back, I headed up to my room for my iPod. When I opened the door, I found a folded note on the floor. Chloe, we need to talk. Meet me in the laundry room at 7:15. Simon. I folded the note into quarters. Had Derek put Simon up to this when I didn't freak out over him calling me a necromancer? Did he hope I might give a more gratifying response to his brother? Or did Simon want to resume our discussion from the kitchen when they had asked about Liz? Maybe I wasn't the only one worried about her. I went downstairs just past 7 and used the extra time to ghost hunt, prowling the laundry room, listening and looking. The one time I wanted to see or hear ghosts, I didn't. Could I contact it? Or was it a one-way street? And did I have to wait until one chose to speak to me? I wanted to test that by calling out, but Derek had already caught me talking to myself. I wasn't taking that risk with Simon. So I just wandered, my mind automatically sliding behind a camera lens. Here, a voice whispered, so soft and dry it sounded like the wind through long grass. Talk to. A shadow loomed over my shoulder. I braced myself to see a vision of horror as I looked up into Derek's face. You always this jumpy, he said. Where did you come from? Upstairs. I'm waiting for some. I stopped and I studied his expression. It's you, isn't it? You had Simon send. Simon didn't send anything. I knew you wouldn't come for me. But Simon? He glanced at his watch. For Simon, you're early. So, did you look it up? So that's what this is about. You mean that word, neck. I pursed my lips, testing it. Necromancer. Is that what you say? Is that how you say it? He waved the pronunciation off, unimportant. He leaned against the wall, trying for casual, uninterested maybe. His flexing fingers betrayed his eagerness to hear my answer, to see my reaction. Did you look it up? He asked. I did, and well, I didn't quite know what to say. He rubbed his hands against his jeans as if drying them. Okay, so you searched for it, and it wasn't what I expected. He brushed his jeans again, then closed his hands, crossed his arms, uncrossed them. I looked around, drawing it out, making him rock forward, almost bouncing with impatience. So, he said, well, I have to admit, I took a deep breath, I'm not really into computer games. His eyes closed to slits, face screwed up. Computer games? Video games, RPGs. I've played some, but not the kind you're talking about. He looked at me weary, as if suspecting I really didn't belong. I really did belong in a home for crazy kids. But if you guys are into them, I flashed a bright smile, then I'm certainly willing to give them a shot. Them? The games. Role playing, right? But I don't think the necromancer is for me, though I do appreciate the suggestion. Suggestion? He said slowly. That I play a necromancer. That's why you had me look it up, right? His lips parted, eyes rounded as he understood. No, I didn't mean. I suppose it could be cool, playing a character who can raise the dead, but it's just, not really me. A little too dark, too emo. I'd rather play a magician. I wasn't. So, I don't have to be a necromancer? Thanks. I really do appreciate you taking the time to make me feel welcome. It's so sweet. As I fixed him with a sugary smile, he realized I was having him on. His face darkened. I wasn't inviting you to a game, Chloe. No? I widened my eyes. Then why would you send me to those sites about necromancers? Show me pictures of madmen raising armies of rotting zombies. Is that how you get your kicks, Derek? Scaring the new kids? Well, you've had your fun, and if you corner me again or lure me into the basement, lure you? I was trying to talk to you. No, I lifted my gaze to his. You were trying to scare me. Do it again and I'll tell the nurses. When I had scripted the lines in my head, they had been strong and defiant, the new girl standing up to the bully. But when I said them, I sounded like a spoiled brat threatening to tattle. Derek's eyes hardened into shards of green glass, and his face twisted into something not quite human, filling with a rage that made me stumble back out of its path and bolt for the stairs. He grabbed me, fingers clamping around my forearm. He yanked so hard I yelped, shoulder wrenching as I sailed off my feet. He let go and I crashed into the floor. For a moment I just lay there, crumpled in a heap, cradling my arm and blinking hard, unable to believe what had just happened. Then his shadow fell across me, and I scrambled to my feet. He reached for me. Chloe, I staggered back before he could touch me. He said something. I didn't hear it. Didn't look at him. Just ran for the stairs. I didn't stop until I was up in my room. Then I sat cross-legged on my bed, gulping oxygen. My shoulder burned. When I rolled up my sleeve, I saw a red mark for each of his fingers. I stared at them. No one had ever hurt me before. My parents had never struck me, never spanked me, or even threatened to. I wasn't that kind of girl who got into fistfights or catfights. Sure, I'd been pushed, jostled, elbowed, but grabbed and thrown across a room? I yanked down my sleeve. Was I surprised? Derek had made me nervous from the first encounter in the pantry. When I realized he had sent the note, I should have gone upstairs. If he had tried to stop me, I should have screamed. But no, I had to be cool, be clever, bait him. Yet I had no proof except marks on my arm that were already fading, even if I still had them when I showed the nurses. Derek could say I had lured him into the basement and flipped out, and he had had to grab my arm to restrain me. After all, I was a diagnosed schizophrenic. Hallucinations and paranoia went with the territory. I had to handle this myself. I should handle this myself. I'd led the proverbial sheltered life. I'd always known that meant I lacked the life experience I'd need to be a screenwriter. Here was my chance to start getting it. I'd handle this, but to handle it, I needed to know exactly what I was up against. I took Ray aside. Do you still want to see Simon and Derek's files? I asked. She nodded. Then I'll help you get them tonight. I love you, baby girl.